Hi lovely tea cakes, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. I am LucyTea, and from me you can expect things varied. Sit down. It's not playtime, which such as things lifestyle. Today we're going to be having a little serious chat. Have a nice serious conversation. Oh, I can try and do it like this so he's a bit more comfortable because he always wants to join in, and I've already just recorded a video, so I don't want him to be going for too long. We'll see how this goes. There you are. You big baby. In here. So, I wanted to talk about OCD. It's something that I've been suffering from since I was a really young girl, and I didn't get support for it until I was like, how old was I when I started getting support for that? 21, so it's not been long I've been getting support for it. And I just wanted to tell you about, you know, some of my behaviours that I do, just to get the stigma away a little bit, because I know that, yeah, we are at a time where we're speaking about mental health and stuff like that now, but people still don't really understand it. I think people are quick to talk about these things, which is good, but not often understanding them. So OCD is compulsive, oh my god. OCD is obsessive compulsive disorder. So people get these like obsessive thoughts. No. Good boy. So you get intrusive thoughts. Right, stop. Get down. Chill. Yeah, people get intrusive, like, so I get intrusive thoughts, and sometimes it's like, for example, oh, is that hob hot? And you want to touch it. And if you don't touch it, then it's kind of like, oh no, that's not a good example. That's an example of one of the thoughts, but you can get, no, sit down. Good boy. So, I'll just start. So when I'm walking, I'm always counting. When I'm walking on the road, I always count in threes, and I have to always land on a number of threes. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I always say 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And say I've done 1, I'd have to do another 2 steps before I go onto the pavement. And then on the pavement, it's in 2s. So when I'm walking on pavements, I'm always counting 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And it's just constant like counting in my head like throughout the day. It's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better with my medication, and I'm starting to like from behaviour therapy. I got a bit of support trying to like suppress it, you know, hold it in and try not to act on those thoughts. And it's been doing okay. Sometimes it's difficult, and I'll just do it. But what the feelings I get if I don't act on it are like, it's like anxiety and depression. So like if I don't do it, then I might think, if I don't do that, then my dog's going to die. So I feel like I really have to do it. And it took me a while to snap out of that, because I genuinely believed that would happen. So now it's sort of getting those thoughts and thinking, well, actually, that's not going to happen, because... And then I'll test it. No, you cannot mount your mother. No. Sit down. Sit down. Be a good boy. Be a good boy. And your mummy, not your girlfriend. Be nice. Be nice. Nice. No. Get off. Sit your bum down. Now. Sit down, please. Good boy. Calm. Stay like that. You can cuddle mummy. You can do whatever. Just don't try and mount your mummy, because you hurt me as well. You hurt mummy when you do that. Yeah. Good boy. Here we are. Good boy. Yeah. See? Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. See, that's it. Now other ones, I'll tell you a funny story. So I think I must have been 11 or 12 with my mother. We went to the bank. My mother was, I don't know what she was doing, putting money in, taking money out, sorting something out with money. And I was in a queue with her, and I accidentally scuffed this woman's bum with my hand, and I had to do it with my other hand. Or, for example, like my mum's going to die or someone's going to get in an accident, I'll get this horrible thought, and to make it go away, for me to feel safe as well, I had to act on those thoughts. So, and now when you suppress those thoughts, it's really tricky, because sometimes you'll you'll say, well, okay, then maybe if I jump 3 times and squeeze my eyes together, that'll make up for it. That's fine, I'll do that then. And you do these things a lot when you try to suppress these kind of thoughts. So it's hard to try and get yourself out of doing it, and it's always going to be there. But I have been doing a lot better with it. So like when I touch something with this side of my body, I have to touch it with my other side. So right side, left side. If it's the left side, then the right side. When my feet end up, calm down, sit down. You're meant to be here to help Mummy talk about this, and you're just doing all the talking. Yeah. If I scuff my foot, for example, when I'm walking, I have to do it on the other one until it feels like it was right, the right amount of scuffing, if that makes sense. And I can get really frustrated with it sometimes, and really, really upset if it doesn't work out the way I want it to. And I can get really quite angry by it as well. It's really tricky, to be honest. I like to do things in even numbers. Sometimes it's different. Like when I'm turning the volume up, I like that to be in 5s, which is a different one. But another one is like, so even numbers. So if I brush this side of my hair however many times, I have to do that side of the hair that many times. And it's always an even number. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. With pretty much everything. And I like things to feel and be even all the time. Perfectionism is another part of it. For me, I'm talking about my own experience with OCD. Everything has to be perfect or it's not happening. I remember when I was practicing makeup, and if my eyeliner wasn't the same and it just kept changing, I would scribble all over my face, have a proper tantrum, cry, being that angry at the situation, and just be so upset by it. And it's really difficult. It is really difficult. No. You're meant to be helping Mummy. You little devil. You've just been on a long walk. Why? Why are you thinking about throwing Mummy about? You've just been on a very long walk. Yes, you have. You just want all of my attention all the time, don't you, you big softie? But yeah, I just wanted to let you... Stop. Right, Mummy's going to have to send you out now. Go on, out you go. You've had your chance. Go on. Alright. I just thought it would be nice to come on here and let you guys in a little bit, let you know a bit more about me. And because, it's very important to talk about these things. And people are starting to do it now, and I feel like, well, now's the time to maybe do it myself. So, yeah, I think it's very important, definitely. But yeah, along with that, I've had several panic attacks because of it. So like, say I'm in public and I'm getting these really intrusive thoughts and I really want to do something like, jump up and down 5 times. I wouldn't be 5 to be honest, it'd be like in 2, so like 6 times. Squeeze my fists in my eyes that many times and do a whole like routine. And if I didn't do that routine, I can like often have a panic attack, but because I'd be so anxious about doing it in front of people that I'd be holding it in, and I'd become so freaked out that I'm not doing it, something bad's going to happen, but also embarrassing myself, and that's been a really hard one to deal with as well. If I drink alcohol, which I do sometimes when I'm an adult, that makes it worse, so I could become, 4 times I rubbed that side, so I had to rub that side. Oh, it's one of those things you often don't notice until people say, but some people may be quite obvious with it, but you never know. But in school, when I was really young, I really struggled with that style of learning, sitting behind the whiteboard, they're teaching you like this, you've got to take notes. 1, I was very slow at writing. 2, my handwriting was atrocious. I don't know what I was getting at. Go on so much tangents and I forget things a lot. That's another thing as well, because my head's so busy all the time, it's so easy to forget about things. It's so easy to like go on these tangents and then the main thing that you were trying to talk about is like long gone. And then it can come back and then it can go. And I interrupt people a lot as well, which is really, really tricky because I like being around people and I love, I'm so I'm such an I'm such an empath in the sense that I love anyone and I see the good in everyone, which isn't great sometimes, but it's also a good thing in the sense that my relationships with people are very very emotional, and that's really nice. Like, I feel raw emotion towards people, and that's really good. But also with those strong feelings come, like, you know, those lower times, and I can often feel really drained. Like I said, so much background chatter, there's so much happening in my head at once that I forget things a lot. Like, I'll forget what I had for my tea last night. Like, now that I've just said that, I'm trying to think, what did I have? I'm just thinking about my breakfast I had this morning, because that's the last thing I can remember eating. I can't remember. See, things like that. But in school I used to always like do this with my eyes when I was concentrating, and I still do it sometimes, but these things are a bit more muted and they're a bit more controlled today, but in the past they've been quite tricky to hide. And that's another thing, you shouldn't feel like you have to hide these things nowadays, because there's a lot of people out there learning about these things, and people are more likely to listen nowadays. But yeah, I've had friends call me stupid, disabled, you know, nasty things like that, because I didn't know the answer to obvious questions, or someone asked me a long question and I couldn't keep up with it, and I'd always ask what, because I didn't know what, I couldn't process fast enough what they were saying to reply to them. And then I'm also thinking about other things all the time as well. So it's been tricky with friendships, definitely. Common knowledge, I didn't know a lot of common knowledge, and people just thought I was stupid, but I'm not stupid. I'm actually very clever and very smart, and I pick up on things like that. You'll find that people that are suffering from these kind of things tend to be quite intelligent people. Like, see, I keep losing myself. Wait a minute, if I head that this works. When you start moving your body around, it's meant to help. Right, think. OCD, thinking. When I was younger, friends. What did my friends used to say? Common sense. Yeah, so in class, when I'd be learning, I wouldn't be taking anything in I'm doing, and it's such a fast pace because everyone's got to keep up. In secondary school, they kept me behind a couple of times to do like a disability learning assessment, and I'd do fine on them. I'd be totally fine because it's one-on-one. The minute I'm around loads of people and we're all learning together, I didn't have that one-on-one. And looking back, that I know now what it was, but it was so challenging as a young girl. It was so hard, really troubling. And another thing as well that I went through was self-harm when I was a really young girl. I started hurting myself when I was 7 years old. And that's stopped now. That's been gone for a while, but those thoughts still come back sometimes. I could kick them in the bum now, you know, I could deal with it now, but I couldn't then, and I didn't understand what was happening then. And none of my siblings knew what was going on. My mother didn't know what was happening, and she, you know, she didn't really understand any of that. Nobody really did then. But it's just important, like, it's nice that people are sharing their stories now, you know, it makes people more, and if I can help someone just from sharing my experience with OCD and just growing up as a teenager in general, then that's, I don't care if people know so much about me, that's really important to me. But yeah, like, in school things would just go in one ear and out the other. I couldn't learn like that. But in the assessments, they passed with flying colours, the one-on-one assessments. And anxiety was really, really prominent in my teenage years. And I didn't really understand it. I didn't know I was having panic attacks until I started speaking to a CBT therapist. And she'd said, you know, about the sort of behaviours and effects, and like explain panic attacks and stuff like that to me, and then I was like, oh right, okay, that's what that was. And that's the thing as well, when we don't talk about these things, we just think they're normal, and I'm going to say normal like that because what is normal? Sorry, I've got a really itchy face from playing with the dog. Sets me off. But he, what am I talking about? OCD. OCD. Oh, it's made me so itchy. It's distracting me. See what I mean? My thoughts are all over the place all the time. Tangents, always. But deep down, I'm a lovely person and I'm just, I'm me. Yeah, school was tough. School was really, really tough. But I think it is on most people at that age, your hormones are all over the place. You go through puberty, people bully and people get bullied. It's a hard time. You're trying to find yourself. You want to know who you are, what your purpose is on this planet, It's a hard time. But yeah, that's what I was saying, self-harm. That started when I was about 7 years old, and that's been ongoing until maybe a few years ago, and it's kind of fizzled out. I wouldn't say fizzled out. It's still very prominent in my mind, but I don't act on it anymore. And I'm a lot stronger when I think about those things, and I get such horrible thoughts. I can motivate myself and encourage myself to steer away from those kind of thoughts, because they're not productive at all, and it's not nice to feel how I felt in the past. But I'm trying to think, what do I want to cover? There's so many OCD patterns that I can't even say on the spot as well, because it's just become a part of my life. Do you know what I mean? It gets to the point where you're like, well, is that even a pattern? Is it not? But these people don't do that, so maybe it is. It's one of them. But yeah, that story I told you about being in the queue at the bank, that was really funny. That one's really stayed with me. Oh, repeated things. So I don't always do it. Repeating words that I say. So when I'm singing a song, I have this whole thing where I need to finish the song. Like if I'm singing along or humming along, I need to either think those words out to the whole song, or sing those words out to the whole song. And if I don't, then I have to catch up on the words I've lost and then bring it back to where the song is now until it finishes. I've not stopped doing that one. Quite hard to stop myself from doing that one. I don't know why that one's so challenging, but yeah, things like that. But yeah, if you know someone that's got OCD, just be a bit more understanding with them. Try to put yourself in their shoes. It's exhausting. I'm tired all the time. I can have a massive sleep. I can have the littlest of sleep. I'll always feel groggy and tired, just all the time. It's so challenging. Really, really challenging. Oh yeah, scars. So yeah, my body's covered in scars. You'll probably notice from some of my try-on hauls, you'll see some marks on my body, and those are from self-harm. And I don't want to trigger anyone, so I hope that doesn't. But I just want to speak about it. I've definitely helped a lot of young people when I go out and have a drink or two, or however many more. And some young people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, what are those marks on your body?" And I don't really think, I forget I've got them sometimes now, because they're just part of me, and I'm not ashamed about doing that. I'm not ashamed. That's what it took to keep me here. I went through that, but I'm not dead. Because there was also thoughts of that, challenging thoughts about taking my own life. That was triggering. That was tricky to go through, and I can manage those thoughts a lot better now. But yeah, young people will ask, and then I just kind of, you do want to talk about this? And then they're like, yeah. And I just tell them a bit about it. And after the conversation, a lot of them have just said to me, I've been going through that, that's why I asked you. And you've made me feel very hopeful. And it made me feel so warm and just so lovely, that I've been able to help someone, help them understand things a bit more, help them realise that, yeah, you can get past it, because you hear it all the time. Oh, you don't need to. I heard it all the time. You don't need to do that. That's stupid. That's silly. Why are you doing that? That's attention seeking. And there's this and there's that. When they people obviously don't understand what you're going through. So yeah, definitely really good that we're talking about these things now, because nobody was really talking about it when I was at school. So it's nice that we've got people we can look up to on YouTube, on TV and stuff. They're talking about it now, and it's really good. We just need to get to a point where we're understanding it more now. Because yeah, it's fine saying, oh, I understand, I get that, I know people love this and that, but understanding it's a whole other thing. You have to be patient with these people. especially in relationships and friendships and stuff. You need to be really patient with them, you know, talk to them, try and have an understanding with each other, not just like, yeah, I get that, because it's not one size fits all. No mental health problem is one size fits all. It's different for everyone. My OCD can be completely different to others. This is what people always say to me when they hear it. Oh, so you like cleaning then? Cleaning? No, that's not what it is for me. If anything, I'm the opposite. Like, I don't really like cleaning, to be honest, but like once I start cleaning, I'll do it thoroughly for you, so that's a bonus in a sense. That's another thing. If I do something, I do it really thoroughly because of the perfectionist side to my OCD. But no, it's definitely not just cleaning. It's not one size fits all. Everyone's mental health problems, anyone's disabilities, anything anyone's going through, anything to do with anyone is different for them. It's their own unique version of that. And that's what people need to understand. Nothing is one size fits all. We are all different. We are all unique people. But I think I'm going to wrap it up there. But yeah, if you want to have any more conversations like this, if you want to do a live where we could talk about this, then leave comments below, because I'd like to start talking about mental health and like the battle of these kind of things, you know, self-harm, depression, anxiety, or just mental health in all. You know, it's good to talk about these things. It's good to understand them. You know, if you want to share maybe your behaviours that you think are OCD like, or anything like that. If you want to share your struggles with me, share them with me. But let's just be nice to each other. Please be lovely. You know, there's nothing worse than going through something, coming out of your shell and sharing that with someone and they bring you down. I just want people to be nice to each other, you know. Just be nice. We're human. We all make mistakes. We're all lovely. Be nice. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to bring up more content like this, so we'll see how this one goes. But yeah. If you would like, you can follow me on my social media, which I will link. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye! Mwah! Right, we need to sit nicely. Right, sit down. Nicely. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Well, that's a bit squint. Good boy. Right. Ooh. Change that a little bit. Oh, yeah. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Good boy. Why is it go so squint? Can't straighten it. Nice boy. Good boy. Be a good boy. Good boy. Good. Sit down nicely. Nicely. Sit. On your bum. Good boy. Good. Good. See? Nicely. Nicely. See? Good boy. There we are.